Welcome to the dish. And my co-host, Luann Perschau, live from Florida, having survived Milton. I told her she's got to get a T-shirt that says, "I survived Milton." Hi, Luann.
Hi, Mark. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yes, we survived the big hurricane that came through, and grateful that they had predicted to be a lot worse, and we had some damage, but it definitely could have been worse. There's still a lot of people who have lost businesses, homes, and their lives too. But with that double whammy with two hurricanes, that affected us. And fortunately, right now the weather forecast is beautiful. It's looking really nice here for the next couple of weeks, and they're showing another little system, but they're saying
I saw that
it may
Way
not
south,
do
though,
anything.
Right?
Way
south.
So,
Yeah.
So we'll hopefully be coming to the end of our hurricane season here, beginning of November, November, and hopefully keep our fingers crossed there won't be anything.
Yeah, Florida needs a break. So
we
hopefully.
need a break.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk Young and Restless. It's been a while, so we got a little catch up to do.
Yes,
right.
We've got a lot of dishing to do.
Yeah, we do. All right, let's start by talking about Lily. So Lily is not today, especially I noticed. And to be fair, Luann, I've missed a few episodes, so I might have to have you fill in the gaps if there is some here. But Lily was not happy today. She's really pissed that Victor double-crossed her by promising her, that she would have the job, be the kind of
CEO,
the
COO position.
Or COO,
Yeah, and I give her credit. She, Devon and Nate were saying, you better be careful. I wouldn't trust Victor.
Yeah.
And she approached Victor, and he wasn't forthcoming with what he's like, don't worry, you'll be taken care of. But then she cornered Nikki. And I give Nikki credit. She has enough respect for Lily to be honest with her. And, she still offered her a position, Nikki did. And Lily really did give her the answer. Her face expression showed how she thought what she thought of that offer. And today, I give her credit. She gave Jill a call. And I think we're going to talk about that a little later.
We are.
But she gave Jill a call to fill her in on what's all going on. And that's probably what needed to happen a while ago. But I think Lily thought Victor was being upfront with her and going to come through once he took over Chancellor. And when she found out he wasn't, it was kind of like, okay, I have to take care of myself now.
Yep. Good for her.
And I think that's what we were seeing in her today. It's like, I'm going to take care of things because I also need to protect my job.
Is it me or is Lily gorgeous?
Lily's very pretty. I've always thought she's a very attractive lady.
I have too. I think she's very attractive.
She has beautiful skin, and her hair looks so nice. When she was out for maternity leave, I think this summer, and when she came back, her hair was a little lighter, and it looks really nice on her. But I wish her well. That she's hopefully she has a position in Chancellor, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, she's kind of a person without an island right now. It's kind of interesting.
I know.
But I think she'll land on her feet. She's good people.
Oh, so. I think so.
Yeah.
She's got the smarts. Yeah.
She is. She's a smart gal. Check this out, Luann.
Wow. I like it.
Different shades of Victor Newman.
Victor. Over the years.
Yeah.
Where did you get that cup?
My daughters gave me that for a gift.
Oh, perfect. They know their dad so well.
Yeah, they do. There's Victor. He's the man.
He's the man.
That's my morning coffee cup here my new coffee cup here at Soapdish.
Have a little Victor in the morning.
That's right. Diane, let's talk Diane now. Diane and Jack are having marital issues because of Kyle mainly. And his involvement with his involvement with Victor, and he basically turning his back on Jack and Diane and Jabot. So
right.
This is going to get interesting. This is probably
Yes.
one of the best storylines they got going.
Yes, I think so. And Kyle is just a spoiled brat, and
is.
he's causing trouble. And what he's gonna, set he make his bed, and he's gonna have to sleep in it because
Yep.
he's I can't believe how he went against Audra too, and especially what he did to Jack and Diane when Kyle came home one night and Jack and Diane weren't there. They left the computer open or on.
Oh, see, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they left the computer on, and Kyle's like, "Oh, what's this?" And it was the company computer. He opens it up, and he could see their new product that they were going to be bringing to the market. He stole that. He went over to Victor right away and said, "Victor, I will give you this. It's a new product that Jabot will be putting out. I'm going to give it to you first so you can beat them to the market with Glissade doing this." He said, "On one condition, I'll give this to you." Because Victor said, "Well, will you go against your mom and dad?" And he said, "Yes, on one condition, you fire Audra." And then,
So that's what prompted Audra's fire.
that's what prompted
See, I didn't
it.
see that part.
Yes.
Okay.
So Kyle did it. He did the deed. And when Jack and Diane got wind of it, because all of a sudden there was a release, a press release, I think, from Glissade. And Jack and Diane looked at it and they went, "Oh my God, I cannot believe Kyle did this."
Yeah.
That's our product, and our own son did it.
Right.
And so and Victor he's in his glory right now.
He's hell-bent.
Yeah, in today's episode, he said, "I'm bringing old Billy Boy down with Abbott Chancellor, and I'm bringing the Abbotts down with Jabot, Jack and Diane, because Jack and Diane are at each other now." And Jack, I think has he means so well, and he wants to keep the peace and keep everything smooth, but he just said said things wrong to Diane, and she took it very personally. Like he said something like "my company," and she said, "No, this is our company." And he's like, "Well, I didn't mean it that way." So I think Kyle's causing a lot of stress in their relationship, and Victor's causing a lot of stress in the relationship, and this is right where Victor wants them all.
Yeah, I thought Victor, he was in such a good mood today. I thought he was going to start whistling Dixie or something. It was kind of funny.
I know.
Oh, that was great. Okay. So, as you mentioned about Audra, so Victor did fire Audra.
And that was
I call
why.
it facade. You call it what?
It's Glissade with a G.
I like the word facade.
But no, so, and she was shocked because Audra had come in there to tell him about a product that she was going to introduce, and that Kyle had canceled it on her. And that's when Kyle came in, and then Victor said, "Audra, you're fired."
Ooh.
Yeah.
He pulled a Donald.
He pulled a Donald.
You're
sometimes
fired. You're fired.
Sometimes Victor's dealings remind me of Trump.
Yeah, they
sometimes.
do, of Donald. Not to get into a political discussion.
No. But
we wouldn't go there. But.
No, but Nate has been a good shoulder for Audra to lean on, and he's trying to build her up because she really put her heart into Glissade, and she it's, at some point we'll have to talk about down the road, but I think Kyle he's gonna get burned somewhere because Victor
he's gonna
cares
be left
about
holding the bag in the end.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep. So
yeah, I agree. All right, so let's talk Billy. So Billy seems like he's on the road to disaster once Victor implements his plan. As you mentioned, he's going to. He made that intent clear again today. So
yeah.
We can talk more about that. I've got a super SUDSY, I think, for you on Billy. Unless you want to add anything to that.
I just want to add a little bit because I was looking at one of the episodes where, again, Jack is the voice of reason. He's his brother, and Billy and Jack kind of got into it too, because Jack said, "What are you doing? You fired Lily. You should have never done that." And Billy's like, "You don't have to question what I'm doing. These, Chance and Lily weren't on the same page as me." And he said, Billy said to Jack, "You never have confidence in me. I know what I'm doing." And Jack is trying to support him, but Billy Boy is creating his own demise. You know,
He is.
And when Lily called Jill today, you know, Jill was very disappointed with what had come up, but especially when Jill told her that Billy hired Phyllis. Jill went, "Are you kidding?" And
what?
that's where, yes. And the next call Jill will be making is to Billy.
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah, I think so. If she doesn't show up in person.
I know, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay, and you mentioned that Lily had that call today with Jill. And she went into great detail about Billy's derailing
Yes.
Chancellor. And quite frankly, Jill didn't seem surprised. Really?
No, because Lily asked her even, and she said, "Were you surprised that Billy fired me?" And she said, "No, not really." So, and I think
Exactly.
and I think Jill knows, like she even said, "I've spoiled my son over the years," and kind of like the Kyle situation.
Right.
It doesn't really do them any favors by spoiling them and giving them everything.
Which is true in real life as well as soap opera. Although,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
All right. It seems that Jill, and I want to get into this more, but I think she's going to lay down the law. I want to get your thoughts.
Oh, I think she will too. You know, she has to get involved somewhere before Victor does, you know, takes them over, because
And she knows Victor very well and knows what he's capable of. So,
she knows what he's capable of.
She's been on his wrath before, that's for sure.
The only thing Jill may say, but Billy won't listen to her. Whatever Jill tells him to do, like if she says you need to bring Lily back, I know Billy won't listen to her. He'll be like, "No, she's not in sync with me on this." You know, that's my thought.
Yeah, Jill would have to really go over his head and just do it. I thought maybe she was going to do that today, by the way, but she didn't.
Oh, did you? No,
I did.
No.
I thought maybe she'd say, "I'm bringing you back," but she didn't. But yeah, I think you're right. I think that will come up with her confrontation with Billy when Jill does that. So
yeah, the power went to his head.
yes, it did, and that's happened before. You know.
Yeah.
Let's talk Sharon. That's the
Yes.
that's the other storyline. What do you think about this? So Sharon's sending. I think it seems to be clear that she's sending signals to Nicholas, at least confusing that she's like interested in him.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Oh, I think I think she is interested. She misses what they used to have, and you know, because when you see her watching Nick interacting with Phyllis, it's almost like she's jealous of that relationship, even though she knows there's nothing going on with Nick and Phyllis. I think she wants his attention, and you know, because she's always dreaming about him too, you know, being with him. And you know, when they did a couple of Fridays ago, they did a storyline. Just the whole episode was about Sharon, and you know, it was her day. It was all her past experience, and Nicholas was in a lot of the show with her, you know, so that relationship to her is still very strong, and I think she misses it. And she
and
would
stable. It was stable.
It was
for
stable.
Her. For
Yeah,
Sharon, it was stable.
Yeah, he gave her a lot of stability, and
Compared to
I
the
think,
other men and stuff she's been with, yeah.
right. And you know, Ray was really good. Ray gave her a lot of stability.
That's true.
And
That's
I
true.
think Sharon is just a really lost soul right now.
Yeah. And at least they took that storyline last time you and I talked. We're like, you know, with the dead, what's his name that keeps coming back in her dreams.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
At any rate, so we'll see where that goes. But I also have a super SUDSY for you on this one coming up as well.
But I was surprised. I didn't think Sharon would, you know, but again, as I was watching some episodes, she doesn't remember what happened. You know, she and Heather were arguing, and then the next thing she knows, Heather's laying on the floor and she's dead. And then she's wiping up the blood with some cloths as she has Heather's phone. And I'm trying to think of his name too. He's talking to her and telling her what to do next, and she's hoping that first Heather's body won't be found, and then when Heather's body is found,
Now it's been found. Yeah.
Now it's been found, and she's a little nervous. Could it lead back to her? And she still feels like it hasn't. Daniel hasn't paid enough for what happened to Cassie all those years ago,
Right.
and what she's trying to do now is set him up for the murder of Heather.
Oh,
and
okay.
And what she did is she got Lucy and Daniel out of their house by sending them a text that anonymously that she has Heather's phone and they could meet so she could give it to them. And so when they left, she snuck in their house, and she Cameron is his name, Cameron.
There you go.
Yeah. And she went into their house and she took those bloody cloths out of her little bag along with the phone and stuck them like in a little credenza shelf in Daniel's house. And now the next thing is, the latest episodes last week were showing Cameron was saying, what you need to do next? You need to notify the authorities that there might be, evidence linking him to Heather's death. And in last week's episodes showing what's happening this week, Chance goes in there to do check everything, investigate the house and see if there's anything. And he comes back he says, Daniel, I found something. So we'll see that this week. But so what Sharon is hoping is that somehow Daniel gets set up with this. But it's like, Sharon, how can you live with yourself? You did something, but she doesn't remember. So she's like, what did I do? What happened? Did we fight? So, hopefully in some episode in the future here, we'll see what actually did happen, but maybe we never will. Sometimes you don't.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you think the police will start to develop her, or do you think it'll go right to Daniel? Well, if she tips the police, yeah, which is probably
if she tips off the police, I think it might fall on Daniel.
That's true.
But the key thing is,
yeah.
And, because Nick and Faith and Mariah all could tell that she's just not herself.
Yeah.
And Nick, you could really tell as he's watching her, you could see the quizzical look on his face, like something doesn't seem
with
right
her.
with what she's saying and explaining, and I just don't know. And like I said, I was surprised that the show went this way, and over the years, Sharon hasn't always been an angel, but for the last 10 years, she's been, what I would say on her best behavior, she played, she was a good mother, a good, counselor to other people. Everybody seemed to come to her coffee shop to talk with her. She was always doling out advice to them. So I was surprised that,
Me
this
too.
happened.
And in fact, you and I think have talked in the past about how her character really wasn't going anywhere. I mean, it really didn't for a long time.
Yeah. We were thinking that she should have a love interest.
Right. I wasn't suggesting she was going to be a murderer all the way.
I know. Yeah.
Weird. But anyway, this whole storyline is weird, but at least they went somewhere with it. So.
Yeah, because the whole Cameron thing, where he was like her conscience. It was just like, go somewhere with this.
Yeah, let's get this going somewhere. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go into super sudsy questions.
Okay.
All right. Will Lily regain power at Chancellor Industries? And if she does, how so?
Oh my gosh. If Victor does grab the company, I don't see her regaining power, because that will go to Nikki. And if it does, I mean, there's a position for her there, but it's not the position she wants.
Not the top dog, yeah. Yep.
The only way will be is if Jill intercedes here somehow.
Right.
And, stops what Victor is doing, and I don't know if Victor will, because he's hell bent on taking Billy down, and so that would be on the only way, unless Jill, once she makes that call to Billy, says you're out, Lily's back in, I'm taking control again, and that would thwart Victor's plans then too.
I think what's going to happen is I think Jill and maybe Billy, but Jill for sure will team up with Audra and go after Victor. And I don't know what they're going to use, but I think they're going to come up with a plan, and I think they're going to intercept his intent here to derail the Chancellor situation. Now, Jack and Diane, I don't know, where that's headed, but
they're on their own, I think, with that.
Yeah, well, that's my next question for you. Actually, is Diane and Jack's marriage headed towards a divorce?
Well, right now it's they're like when. Today they were talking, and they were going to hold hands, and both of them pulled back. And Diane said to Jack, "You pulled back when I was reaching for you." And he said, "Well, so did you." And so it's kind of like they don't trust each other right now, and there's just a lot of negative vibes between them. And Kyle, like I said, Kyle's causing a lot of stress, and now with this new product being stolen,
right?
It sounds like they have a board that they have to answer to in different companies, so they're in a very stressful position. So it could cause a lot of stress in their marriage, and it could be because Diane's even questioned if I wonder if Jack regrets marrying.
I know. Today she said that. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Yep.
And so, Victor's little plan is working well, because I think he wanted to really hurt them too, and it is with what is happening right now.
Right.
Victor's killing two birds with one stone.
He is. Yep.
Billy and Jack and Diane, and his goal was to bring down the Abbotts, and that's what he's doing.
He's hell-bent. He's going to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What will Jill do with Billy?
Well, like we were talking, it wouldn't surprise me that she, either she has to take the reins away from him, take the power away from him and bring it back to her, because he's going to keep going. Otherwise, I think with what he's hell bent on fighting Victor on this. What do you think?
I agree. No, I agree. I think what'll happen is I think one of two things will happen. Either she comes back, Jill does, and runs it for a while, and takes in. I actually can see her going to confront Victor. Jill, she would do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think so.
Yeah,
because they have a history together, and Victor respects her. I think
he does.
Years ago he didn't, but he does
hated
now.
her, but he does now. Yeah. Yep. No, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Victor softened up a little bit, Luann, not a hell of a lot, but a little bit.
Yeah, not a lot. No.
Not much. Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting. What do you think Victor's plan is? I was going to ask you this as another SUDSY question, because I think he's revealed it, and I don't know that I heard it.
Yeah. His goal is, I believe, to bring the Abbotts down. And
do you know how? Do you know what his plan is? I don't know what it is.
Well, because Nikki asked that today. Nikki said, "So what is your plan?" He said, you don't need to know. Just know that you will be in the position you want at Chancellor. Don't worry about that. Leave it up to me. I don't know what, knowing Victor, he's so sly, and
I know.
And he does think it all through. When they come in, he's always on his computer or on his phone, just really concentrating on what he's doing.
Or he's on his phone, his cell phone.
Yeah. He's got plans in place, and I don't know what. I really don't
he's been
know.
Utilizing Michael Baldwin too, right? I mean,
Yes.
he's been trying to get Michael. If you do this for me, then I'll bring you back on as my attorney, my corporate attorney.
Yeah.
Funny.
I'll reinstate you.
Yep, exactly. I have to say this, though. Of course, Victor's always been my favorite because it's such a strong character on the show. And that's exactly why I like it. And I think I don't know how Young and Restless will go forward when Victor actually does finally retire, because he's such a central part of that show.
Oh, he is. And, somewhere, if they're grooming Adam for that, because somebody
I know, that's what I
to
think. But I don't know that he's as strong. I like Adam as an actor, but there's just something very unique about Victor, in that it's very, his character is very believable.
Right. And I don't, Kyle could be set up like an evil guy too, but right now he doesn't have the right charisma like Victor does.
Right. Yep, exactly. And I think we'll skip my last question because we've already answered it, the Sharon story and where that's all headed.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, comments, anything else you want to talk about, Luann?
No, I think we've covered most everything, because the Sharon story is a big one right now, and the Abbotts being taken down by Victor, and I think that's the main content of what we've kind of covered or missed over the last couple of weeks when we haven't done Soapdish. But it'll be interesting. The Heather story will be interesting to see if Daniel does indeed get set up for this, and at what point, because Sharon is a good person, at what point will Sharon feel the guilt of what she's done? Will it be when because she wants to get back on her meds and see a therapist again? Will it be at that point where she kind of says, okay, I'm healing, I'm feeling better, and now I feel really, really guilty because Cameron's no longer in my conscience. He's gone. But I'm feeling very guilty now because even though I'm angry at Daniel, what he did to Cassie, it wasn't right to set him up for something he didn't do. With his daughter Lucy, I don't know. But and then with that whole storyline, there was a little hope going on that when Daniel called Paul in Portugal to let him know that his daughter Heather had
I saw
died.
that.
Yeah, Paul said, I'm going to come and be at her memorial. So this buzz was that Paul
Williams.
The Paul Williams really come back, because the character, when he left the show, I think it wasn't on real good terms.
It wasn't, because I saw some information where they talked about he wasn't real happy that they didn't renew his contract.
Right.
Because he had a pretty big role in the show at that time. And all of a sudden he was just like, you're out.
Gone.
Yeah.
So, we were all hoping, it's like, well, because over the last, because it was on for 50 years last year, and they brought so many characters back, but not Paul Williams. And so we were hoping that would happen. Well, then Paul had a heart attack.
Yeah.
So he couldn't come home. So it was like, darn, they got our hopes up.
I liked his character too. Of course.
I did too.
He was chief of police, so I'm kind of partial to him.
Yes, you do. You have every right to be partial.
The Genoa City police chief.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm glad Chase is back on the police force. That's a better position for him than working at Chancellor.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. It's a little more.
I
exciting.
didn't like him in that role. Oh, and before we close, I'm going to ask you one other thing, because what's up with this? Do you think Nate Hastings, does he have any alternative here with Audra, or is he just in it for the romance,
the sex,
so to speak? The sex.
I think he's just really wanting, because he was very supportive of her today.
I think he actually does care about her. That's the thing.
I think he does too.
I was curious what you thought.
And I think Audra really cares about him too, but
as much as she can, huh?
Yeah, because
she's pretty.
The only because
Audra cares about Audra.
Audra cares about Audra. Nate cares about Nate, but Nate knows Victor very well, having been his doctor, having worked for him, and I think he can share things with Audra and understand what she's going through because he's worked with Victor.
Right. Yeah,
and,
right. That's
maybe he will help her bring Victor down. Maybe. You were talking. Maybe something.
I mean, she's evil enough. She can switch roles in 2 seconds, so that or switch sides, I should say. So that shouldn't. She could do that.
Yeah, because she'll get a revenge somewhere, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
because
Bet she
she's, and especially, she'll take the revenge out on Kyle.
You know, and I
Victor's
can
there.
also, now that I'm thinking about it, Luann, I can see her teaming up with Nate too, because Nate isn't real happy with Victor either after he screwed him over on, you know, with his relationship with
Victoria.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hey, lots to think about, Luann.
Oh, I know.
Hopefully these stories get even more interesting.
I hope so.
Okay. Until we dish again, keep it sudsy,
Oh, yeah.
and we're out.